everyone. Welcome. I'm so pleased to see a nice crowd here today, and I think you're going to enjoy this film. I'm Jody Millward. I am president of the Virginia Osprey Foundation. We're a new 501c3 nonprofit as of last June, and we're just happy to be here and put on some educational events. I have our board here, which I've got Cindy Legan at the back. She's a member of our board. Cam Narney, Jenny Grimes, I don't know where she is. She's our secretary, and Donna Ryan is our treasurer. Deb Newman is our marketing and web design, and last but not least is Michael Academia. He is an Osprey Researcher for the Center for Conservation Biology, and he is our science advisor. And you're going to hear from him later too. So we have a really great board. One of our goals is education and community engagement, and by doing these types of presentations, that's sort of how we want to do that. So hopefully throughout the year, we'll be able to put on some other things, and we'll invite everyone out. So be looking for that. So you got your bottles and your stickers there when you came in. We're going to have 2 door prizes, and we're going to have a drawing for one of our new ornaments. So I think you all had a chance to look at that. Let's see. Bathrooms are through that door there to your right. Oh, my right, your left, right. Let's see. Michael will take questions after the movie, and then he'll have his presentation, like I said before. I guess make sure your phones are on silent. And one more thing to say, just to be updated with everything we're doing in our festival, which is coming April 13th, just go to our website, which is virginiaospreyfoundation.org, and you can know what's going on. So I will let for our legislators, if you would like to write to them, call them, email them. We have to be the voice of the Osprey. We have to do something. It's a very sad situation. I did so. They're not so dependent on Menhaden, and I'm not even quite sure we have those out in our waters. We do? Okay. Well, used to. But our reproductive rate here is very good, or at least it has been the last 2 years. It's not in the lower Chesapeake. So I'm gonna leave these back here. It's double-sided, so I hope you'll contact our legislators. And there's a lot going on with this, so I think we just keep on and keep on. They're gonna have to do something. So anyway, Michael's gonna take questions.
I'll take some questions before I go over some slides. I just want to thank you everyone for coming and showing your support. And thank you, Virginia Osprey Foundation. Thank you, members. Thank you, St. Mary's. And I remember a couple years ago, the first time I came to Colonial Beach, I was just so blown away with the amount of ospreys here. I was studying ospreys in Mobjack Bay, the higher salinity zones of Chesapeake Bay, and it is really, really depressing. So I've had lots of great joy working with ospreys, but like mostly a lot of sorrow. For example, last year we did about a survey about 80 nests in Mobjack Bay, and there were only 3 young. So the product, only 3 out of 80.
Where's Mobjack Bay?
It's in Virginia. It's south from here.
South.
Yeah, near Virginia Beach. So during the DDT era, actually it's on the western.
It is on the western.
Yeah, but the eastern shore is not doing well as well. So just to give you perspective, during the DDT era, right, the productivity rate was about 0.5, 0.3. So that's like so much more exponentially like less in Mobjack Bay. It's approaching 0. So I held a lot of osprey like dead babies, which was really sad. And can you imagine going to, being here, going outside and seeing no ospreys? That's Mobjack Bay. So what you have here is truly, truly special. Fight for this. I know you guys are very supportive of this, so it's really amazing that you guys are here and you've done such a wonderful job with your ospreys. So I really, really applaud you. You've given me hope. Now I'm going to teach class, so I also teach biology. So I promised Jody that I wasn't going to be too sciencey, so I'm not going to throw statistics at you. I'm gonna throw lots of figures. All right, so I've been studying ospreys for like over 7 years now. I first started studying ospreys in California. California has its own set of different issues. There's lots of dams. The salmon and the trout are dying. There's invasive species. But then my attention turned towards Chesapeake Bay, where we have the world's largest breeding population of ospreys. So I thought I was gonna be in heaven.
Michael, is that still true?
What?
That we have the largest population, or is it?
That's to be determined, because we're now gathering evidence that, you know, if you have subpopulations in the big populations and they're collapsing, what is that going to do to the whole population? Right. Is it going to be too heavily dependent on Colonial Beach? But then what happens if something happens here? Then what? And then a lot of our ospreys traveling down, they're getting shot now because of all the aquaculture. So, you know, it's like a burning of the candle on two ends. All right, so can you guys see that here?
Do we need to turn light?
Oh yeah, that'd be great. All right, so this is an illustration from the Pew Charitable Trust. Right, this just depicts the major ecological role that Menhaden provide. Right, they're just a forage base for our major predators such as striped bass, our whales, our recreational fishermen, even ecotourism now. But of course, right, our ospreys have been set as ecological reference points, which means that they're an indicator of the prey availability of Menhaden, right? So if they're doing well, we kind of have a figure that these fish are doing well. But now what we're seeing in Mob Jack Bay and the higher salinity zones is that we're seeing these population crashes. There's just not enough fish in the bay. And the major problem is that Chesapeake Bay is like a nursery ground for Menhaden. They will stay in the bay as young, and when they're big and strong, that's when they leave. But because they're getting scooped up, they don't have the opportunity to go out and produce more young, and it just stops the cycle.
So the bay is the source for our Menhaden here?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
Chesapeake Bay is the largest estuary in the U.S. It's an ecological treasure. So the Menhaden, their life cycle, they will spawn out in the ocean, and eventually all of their eggs will come into Chesapeake Bay, where they can feed and get big and strong, and then they leave and they go out. But they're being intercepted the whole time.
So right now we're doing okay, but over time, we can expect that we're going to experience the same thing.
Right. Like, yeah.
Got it.
All right, so this is just a little friendly infographic. So Osprey Watch, we're going to be coming out with a new website soon. So here we're going to need your help with your data and for watching ospreys. So this just represents the phonology of the osprey breeding cycle. Phonology just means like it's a timeline where you have, you know, an empty nest and then it gets activated. Then here we have evidence of incubation. Then you have some brooding where they're feeding little babies, and eventually they grow up. And this is like the main thing here is when they fledge, when they actually leave the nest. Just a little background. All right, so let's think of the osprey season as like a timeline. So you have a front end here, and then you have a back end here. I'll give Joni this data so that maybe we can share with people. Or I'll have a webinar. I know this is like a crash course. But when you're out there and you have our Osprey Watch app or website up, we're looking at like 3 major things in the season. There's been some reports that the ospreys have been coming back, so keep your eye out for that. The main things we're looking at are like in April, May, and at the end of the season. So the early season, right, you have active nests, you have egg laying, and ideally this is where you can take your initial survey. If your nest is active, just put that on there. That's like the main thing. And in the mid-season, you'll see like your ospreys like sit on the eggs and they'll be incubating. You can enter that data too. But at the end of the season, we have the most important thing. That's like your number of fledglings per nest. I've broken down that equation right here. So very easy, number of fledglings per active nest, and that is your reproductive rate. So this is the metric that we're using to measure the population. So if you're watching an osprey nest, like even if you can just go out once this would be what the metric that we're looking for. How many fledglings your nest has produced. I'm gonna just, oh, there's Colonial Beach. Yeah, I'm just gonna share this really quick here. So this is, I took this little snippet of the Colonial Beach Osprey Nest Cam. Congratulations for having that. You guys should tune in and watch. So at the Center for Conservation Biology, we're very interested in what the ospreys are bringing to the nest. We really haven't characterized what ospreys are bringing here. So we want to know why you guys are so successful. What types of fish are they bringing to the nest? So if you can watch your camera and take little pictures, that would be amazing. We attached trail cameras to some nests in Mobjack Bay, Menhaden, like to school. So here we have like evidence of a double catch.
You want me to push a button for you?
Oh, that's okay. I'll stay there. Here's some gizzard shad right there. Gizzard shad is more inland. And then striped bass. We expected to see more striped bass, but there wasn't that many. Yeah, so please help our ospreys, please.
So is all this information on the website, the things that we need to look for to give to you?
Yeah, I have,
What he just told you about they're active. Actually, that's not Osprey Watch, and we have a Colonial Beach Osprey Nest Watchers group. All the nests that we know of, and there's 50 some odd we've got listed there. So you don't just want to put in a new nest because that'll skew the data to double nests. But you can report that there, and if anyone's interested, I'm very familiar. I can have a little mini class.
yeah,
And show you how to do that. if you wanna
perfect.
do that.
Our site's gonna be updated and hopefully it'll be more user friendly and you can tell your friends and we can collect more data.